In a world filled with constant distractions and challenges, finding inner peace can seem impossible. But what if I told you that you have the power to stay calm no matter the situation? In today's video, we'll explore timeless Buddhist wisdom that will help you find peace amidst the chaos, silence your inner turmoil, and live with a clear mind. If you're ready to embark on a journey of calmness and transformation, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new story that can guide you towards lasting peace. Chapter 1. The nature of the mind and suffering. The mind is like a restless sea, constantly moving, reacting, and struggling against the waves of life. In Buddhism, the first truth we must accept is that suffering, dukkha, is inevitable. It arises from our attachments, desires, and resistance to reality. The Buddha taught that understanding suffering is the first step to inner peace. Imagine a man caught in a storm. The more he resists the wind, the more exhausted he becomes. But if he learns to move with it, he finds a way to endure without suffering. Similarly, when we acknowledge the reality of pain, we begin to loosen its grip on us. Instead of reacting with frustration, we can develop the wisdom to see suffering as a natural part of existence. Meditation teaches us to observe our thoughts without becoming entangled in them. A thought arises, but instead of fighting it, we let it pass like a cloud drifting in the sky. The more we practice, the more we realize that we are not our thoughts. We are the awareness behind them. This realization is the beginning of calmness. The Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." True calmness does not come from controlling the world, but from understanding the nature of the mind itself. Chapter 2. The art of non-attachment. One of the greatest sources of distress is attachment, our tendency to cling to things, people, and outcomes. We believe that if we just have the right job, the right partner, or the right circumstances, we will finally be at peace. But life is impermanent. Everything we cling to will change, and if our peace depends on unstable things, we will always be vulnerable. Consider a river. When we try to grasp the water, it slips through our fingers. But when we let it flow, it nourishes us effortlessly. In the same way, practicing non-attachment allows us to enjoy life without being controlled by it. The Buddha taught the story of a monk who carried a cup with great care. One day, a student asked, "Master, why do you treat this cup as if it is already broken?" The monk smiled and replied, "Because one day it will be. When I drink from it, I enjoy it. When it falls, I do not grieve, for I have already accepted its impermanence." When we understand that everything is temporary, we learn to love deeply without fear, work hard without anxiety, and live fully without regret. True calmness comes when we release our grip on what we cannot control. Chapter 3. Responding instead of reacting. A wise man does not react impulsively to events. He responds with understanding. Reactivity is rooted in ego and fear. When someone insults us, our instinct is to defend ourselves. But does anger ever bring peace? The Buddha taught that anger is like holding a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone. It only burns us. A monk once traveled through a village where he was insulted by an angry man. Instead of responding, the monk simply bowed and continued walking. Later, a disciple asked, "Why did you not defend yourself?" The monk replied, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" When we refuse to engage with negativity, we remain free. We must train our minds to pause before responding. Take a breath. Observe the emotion. Instead of reacting blindly, we can choose a response that aligns with wisdom. Through mindfulness, we develop the ability to remain calm in the face of conflict. Like a mountain that remains unmoved by the wind, we become stable in any situation. Chapter 4. Embracing silence and stillness. In today's world, silence is rare. We fill our lives with noise, music, conversations, endless scrolling on our phones. But the greatest wisdom arises in silence. The Buddha often retreated to the forest to meditate. When his disciples asked why, he replied, "In stillness, truth reveals itself." Silence is not empty. It is full of insight. When we practice sitting in silence, we become aware of our restless mind. We see how thoughts pull us in every direction. But as we continue, a deep stillness emerges. Many of our struggles come from reacting too quickly. If we pause before speaking in anger, we prevent unnecessary suffering. If we reflect before making decisions, we avoid regret. Silence is not weakness. It is a source of great strength. Consider a glass of muddy water. If we keep shaking it, the water remains unclear. But if we set it down, the mud settles and the water becomes clear. Our mind is the same. Clarity comes when we allow stillness. Practicing silence does not mean avoiding life. It means we learn to listen to ourselves, to others, and to the wisdom that arises when the mind is calm. Chapter 5. The power of acceptance. Life does not always go as planned. We lose loved ones. Plans fail. People disappoint us. If we resist what is, we create suffering. But if we accept reality as it is, we open the door to peace. A Zen story tells of a man caught in a flood. As the water rose, he climbed to the roof and prayed for help. A boat came, but he refused, saying, "I am waiting for divine help." Another boat arrived, but again he refused. Eventually he drowned. In the afterlife, he asked why his prayers were unanswered. The response was simple: "I sent 2 boats, but you refused them." Acceptance does not mean passivity. It means seeing reality clearly and acting wisely. When we accept what we cannot change, we free our energy for what we can. The Buddha said, "When we let go of how we think things should be, we find peace in how they are." To stay calm, we must embrace life as it unfolds without resistance and with the wisdom to respond with grace. Chapter 6. Letting go of control. One of the greatest obstacles to inner peace is our desire to control everything. We believe that if we plan carefully, if we make the right choices, if we do everything correctly, then life will unfold exactly as we wish. But life is unpredictable. No amount of control can prevent challenges, disappointments, or unexpected changes. The Buddha compared life to a river. We stand on the bank trying to direct the flow, but the river moves according to its own nature. The more we resist, the more we exhaust ourselves. True peace comes when we let go of the illusion of control and learn to flow with life. A story is told of a farmer who lost his only horse. His neighbors said, "What terrible luck!" But the farmer simply replied, "Maybe." The next day the horse returned, bringing wild horses with it. The neighbors exclaimed, "What good fortune!" Again the farmer said, "Maybe." Later his son broke his leg while trying to tame one of the horses. The villagers pitied him, but the farmer remained calm. A week later, soldiers came to the village to recruit young men for war. His son was spared due to his broken leg. Life unfolds in ways we cannot predict. What seems like misfortune may lead to a hidden blessing. Instead of trying to control everything, we must learn to trust the natural flow of life. Chapter 7. The practice of patience. Impatience is a fire that burns within us. We want results now. We want answers now. We want life to happen on our terms. But the path of wisdom requires patience. Imagine planting a seed. If we dig it up every day to check its progress, it will never grow. We must water it, give it sunlight, and trust the process. In the same way, our personal growth, our understanding, and even our peace take time to develop. Buddha once told his disciples, "Some truths cannot be learned quickly. Just as a tree grows slowly, wisdom takes time to take root." When challenges arise, patience allows us to remain calm instead of rushing into unwise decisions. When we feel restless, patience teaches us to sit with discomfort rather than seeking quick distractions. Patience does not mean waiting idly. It means trusting the rhythm of life. When we let go of urgency and embrace the present, we find peace. Chapter 8. The middle path. Balancing life's extremes. In life, we often swing between extremes, chasing pleasure and avoiding pain, working too hard or being too lazy, speaking too much or remaining silent. But the Buddha taught the middle path, a way of balance. Imagine a musician tuning a string. If it is too loose, it will not play. If it is too tight, it will snap. Life is the same. If we overwork, we burn out. If we do nothing, we waste our potential. If we seek pleasure obsessively, we suffer when it fades. If we deny all joy, life becomes empty. A monk once asked the Buddha, "How should one live?" The Buddha replied, "Like a lute string, not too tight, not too loose." Balance brings peace. It allows us to enjoy life without attachment, to work hard without exhaustion, and to rest without guilt. The middle path teaches us to move through life with grace, avoiding the suffering that comes from excess and deficiency. Chapter 9. Facing difficult people with compassion. One of the greatest tests of inner calm is dealing with difficult people. Whether it's a rude stranger, a demanding boss, or a disrespectful family member, interactions with others often stir up frustration and anger. But Buddhism teaches us that every person acts from their own suffering. A person who is cruel may have been deeply hurt. A person who is impatient may be struggling with inner turmoil. If we respond with anger, we only add to their suffering and our own. The Buddha once told a story of a man who insulted him repeatedly. Instead of reacting, the Buddha asked, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man replied, "To the one who offered it." The Buddha smiled and said, "Then I do not accept your anger." Instead of reacting, we can cultivate compassion. When someone is unkind, we can pause and ask, what pain are they carrying? This does not mean accepting mistreatment, but it means responding from wisdom rather than emotion. A calm mind sees others not as enemies, but as people on their own difficult journeys. When we replace judgment with understanding, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Chapter 10. Cultivating gratitude. In every moment, gratitude is a powerful key to inner peace. The mind often focuses on what is missing, what we lack, what we have lost, what we desire. But gratitude shifts our focus to what is already present. The Buddha taught that suffering comes from desire. When we always seek more, we remain trapped in dissatisfaction. But when we appreciate what we have, we find contentment. A man once came to a Zen master complaining about his problems. The master poured him a cup of tea but did not stop, allowing the tea to overflow. The man exclaimed, "The cup is full." The master smiled. "Your mind is like this cup, so full of worries that nothing new can enter. Empty it and you will find peace." Gratitude empties the mind of dissatisfaction. It reminds us that even in difficulty there are blessings, breath in our lungs, sunlight on our skin, kindness from a stranger. Every moment holds something to be grateful for. When we train ourselves to see it, we find joy not in what we gain, but in what we already have. Chapter 11. The illusion of the self. One of the greatest sources of suffering is our attachment to the idea of self. We cling to our identity, our ego, our story. We believe we are separate from others, that we must protect and defend our sense of self. But in Buddhism, the concept of anatta, no self, teaches us that this identity is an illusion. Imagine a wave in the ocean. It rises, it moves, it crashes, but it is never separate from the ocean. It only appears independent for a moment. We too are like waves. Our existence is temporary, always changing, never truly separate. The Buddha once asked his disciples, "If a man builds a house and then tears it down, where is the house?" The students replied, "It is gone." The Buddha smiled and said, "So it is with the self. It is an illusion, always being built and rebuilt." When we let go of our rigid identity, we release many of our fears. We stop taking everything personally. We realize that criticism, praise, success, and failure are all temporary. We become free, like a river that flows without resistance. True peace comes when we stop trying to hold on to something that was never solid to begin with. Chapter 12. Finding stillness in chaos. Life is unpredictable. We cannot control the storms that come our way: loss, illness, conflict, uncertainty. But what if peace is not the absence of chaos, but the ability to remain still within it? There is a Zen story of a monk meditating while a great storm raged outside. His students asked, "How can you sit in peace when the wind howls and the thunder roars?" The monk opened his eyes and said, "Because I am not the storm." We often mistake external events for internal realities. Just because chaos surrounds us does not mean we must absorb it. The mind, when trained, can be like the eye of a hurricane, calm, steady, untouched by the surrounding winds. To cultivate this inner stillness, we must practice observing our emotions rather than becoming them. Instead of saying, "I am angry," say, "I notice anger arising." Instead of saying, "I am anxious," say, "Anxiety is present." This simple shift creates space between us and our emotions. When we stop identifying with the storm, we remain at peace, no matter how strong the winds blow. Chapter 13. The power of forgiveness. Holding onto resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Yet many of us carry anger and grudges, believing they protect us. Buddhism teaches that forgiveness is not about excusing harm. It is about freeing ourselves from suffering. When we refuse to forgive, we chain ourselves to the past. There is a story of two monks who were traveling together. They came across a woman who needed help crossing a river. One monk carried her across and set her down. Hours later, the other monk asked, "Why did you carry that woman? We are not supposed to touch women." The first monk smiled and said, "I put her down at the river. Why are you still carrying her?" Forgiveness is not for the other person, it is for us. When we let go of resentment, we release the burden that weighs on our hearts. To forgive does not mean we allow harm to continue. It simply means we choose not to let the past control our present. The moment we release anger, we step into true peace. Chapter 14. Living with presence and intention. Most of our suffering comes from either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. But life happens only in the present moment. A student once asked the Buddha, "How can I find enlightenment?" The Buddha replied, "When you eat, eat. When you walk, walk. When you sit, sit." The student was confused. "But I do these things every day." The Buddha smiled. "No, when you eat, you think of many things. When you walk, your mind is elsewhere." True peace comes when you are fully present. To live with presence means to give full attention to what we are doing. When eating, we taste the food. When listening, we truly hear. When speaking, we choose words carefully. This simple practice transforms our lives. Intention is also key. Are we living by habit, or are we making conscious choices? When we set an intention each day to be kind, to be patient, to be mindful, we guide our minds toward peace. Every moment is an opportunity to awaken. Peace is not found in some distant future. It is here now in this breath. Chapter 15. The journey continues. Buddhism teaches that the path to peace is not a destination but a lifelong journey. There will always be moments of struggle, moments of doubt, moments of difficulty. But the difference between suffering and serenity lies in how we respond. The Buddha once said, "Just as a snake sheds its skin, we must shed our past over and over again." Growth never ends. Awakening is not a single event, but a continuous unfolding. Whenever life tests you, remember, you are not your emotions, you are the awareness behind them. You do not have to control everything. You only need to flow with life. You are not alone. Every being walks this path together. The practice of mindfulness, compassion, and acceptance is not something to master and finish. It is a way of life. With each moment, we have a choice: to react or to remain still, to resist or to accept, to close off or to open our hearts. True calmness is not about avoiding storms. It is about learning to dance in the rain. As we've learned today, the key to staying calm in any situation lies within us. By embracing patience, letting go of control, and living with presence, we can find peace even in the most challenging moments. Remember, true calmness comes from within, and every step on this path is a chance to grow. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback helps us continue to bring you wisdom that can make a real difference in your life. Stay calm, stay mindful, and keep growing. Until next time.